Welcome back to another episode of Gumzo na Chai. It's your host, Alex Onyango. And next to me is an amazing individual. I'd also love to introduce herself, tell us what she does, and how she's actually feeling today. Asante karibu.
Okay, thank you so much. First of all, thank you for the opportunity to come and share my voice here. I think this is an amazing space you guys are creating. So my name is Mishy. I identify as a lesbian woman. I am a feminist. I'm very multifaceted, so I do a lot of things, and one of them is I am also a loctician. I am an activist. I am many things, so if you want to get to know me, maybe follow me on social media. I am also a YouTuber, but basically I'm very passionate about LGBTQIA+ rights, and I love to speak and have talks on this conversation and lend my voice. So yeah.
Asante sana. Karibu.
Thank you.
Right. So, talk to us briefly about the current discrimination crisis and how queer people are targeted, and in that spirit, mention how queer stories are often erased or twisted. Like, just give us a conversation around that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for sure, you know that queer stories are really erased. It's a common saying in Kenya or in a lot of African countries that queer people, they are influenced from the West. Being queer is something imported from the West. And that's completely not true. It's just that our history, because of colonization, a lot of it was erased. We see cases where women would marry other women. Granted, they say it's because of lineage and succession. Perhaps if I'm a woman who wasn't able to bear kids, I would marry another woman so I can bear kids for my lineage. But then that begs the question, why wouldn't the man just marry another woman who can have kids? And in those kind of situations, the woman who's marrying the other woman had all the husband rights, if I can say that. So, and that's just one of the many examples we have across Africa. So I feel like that erasure, of course, it added to queer people being isolated, because now it's not seen as something that was part of your culture. Now it's seen as something that's immoral, something that is demonic because certain organized religions say so. And now queer people are like, oh my God, we are the outcasts. You know, it's. I feel like that erasure of queer stories, it's a way to like discriminate us and isolate you, especially from your support systems, because now it's like, oh, you're one of those like the immoral people, you can stay over there with your community. And also that leads to like loss of opportunities, like job opportunities. So it's just crazy how that went about. But at the same time, I can recognize that queer people talking about our stories, that's how we gain our power back. Because so long as queer people are not speaking up about their experiences, and if we don't do that, that means we're not getting belonging, we won't get like support in the ways that we need. So us sharing the stories, even this space, is a way of getting our power back.
What is the wildest lie you've ever heard about queer folks? You included.
Me included. Oh my God, that we are possessed by demons. Like, I feel like I have a lot of lies that I've had, but that's the wildest one. Because what do you mean me just being myself is demonic? And funny enough, the irony is the standard they're using to judge you was something that was actually imported from the West. So that's a bit, yeah, I would say that's the wildest one. Yeah.
What impact does this kind of misinformation have on how others treat you, or how you see yourself, and how have you had to unlearn what the society taught you about your own identity as Mishy?
Wow, that's a really good question.
I know.
So me personally, I knew I was a queer kid from the time I was a kid. So that meant that I felt really isolated growing up. And in as much as it wasn't something that I openly confessed as a queer child.
Right.
I still went through depression
Right.
and all these things. And the lie being that we are demonic as queer people.
Again.
And because these are the systems we come from Christianity or whatever organized religion you come from, and they all have this same message towards queer people. So that meant that even despite me knowing who I am and taking back my identity, I still faced a lot of shame because I still had this religious conditioning in me that told me like, no, this is something demonic, you're going to hell, girl, like what do you mean, like so unlearning that has been really hard. And you would think that now as an adult who has power over my space, and that you would think that I overcame that, but it still pops up once in a while. And now it's even more complicated because it's not just about me. Like I am now an openly out lesbian. So that means even for my family, they get to go through discrimination and all these things. So at the back of my mind, sometimes it pops up and I'm like, oh my God, am I just lay low? So navigating that shame, it's something that challenges me from time to time, and I know that is deeply rooted in that upbringing.
So have you ever had a queer story that changed you or maybe even saved you?
Per se for me, it wasn't a story, it was an experience. So I was in high school, and of course I already knew I was a queer kid. I knew from primary school, but because of internalized homophobia maybe, or comfort, I tried to have boyfriends here and there or crushes, you know, but they would never go anywhere because obviously I'm a lesbian. So in high school, I stumbled upon this Facebook group, and it was by older queer women in Kenya. And I remember in my head, I was like, what? You mean there's queer older people in Kenya? Like this is just a me thing, and they're even outside holding hands. I'm like, you guys are holding hands.
The whole concept.
I'm like, I can't believe this. Because of course, especially in that school setup, being queer is heavily, you know, challenged, or it's frowned upon. And by that time, I had already gotten into very weird incidences of being shamed in front of the whole parade for being queer. So having that kind of shame and those kind of challenges, and then seeing queer women out here just living life, and they're not scared, and they're not in the closet. I was like, what? I want this for myself. And I feel like that is one of the experiences that really validated me, because I just didn't know you can be queer into your adulthood. I thought this is something that maybe it was just a phase, because everybody would say that if they found out you're queer, they're like, don't worry, it will after high school, it'll be okay. So that was a really founding thing for me, just finding that community.
Interesting. That's a nicer story, actually.
It's like I always thought like there's something wrong with me. Maybe I need prayers. Maybe if I just get a good boyfriend, maybe I'll change, you know. So for me personally, I'm telling these stories so that anyone else who's struggling to navigate life in their queerness can know that it's not just them. You're not alone, you're normal. Like this is really normal. There's nothing to be ashamed of. There's nothing to shy away from. Just get to learn yourself. So for me, that's mainly why I speak out, and also because I know that if queer people don't speak out, then our stories get erased, and the narrative that wins is the homophobic narrative. So I'm not letting that happen on my watch.
That's interesting. And then there's the false bit of it as well. Maybe just myths, I don't know.
Let me tell you something. There's this narrative that people run with, and it's they say you can pray the gay away, that becoming a Christian suddenly changes your sexuality, and no hate on the Christians, or I'm talking about any organized religion. There's this thing, they think that if you pray enough or if you go to church enough, you're gonna change, and a lot of people believe that. That's the problem. A lot of people who already are in those kind of circles, they actually believe this works, and I can tell you for free, from my experience, it doesn't work. It simply doesn't work.
You've undergone conversion therapy at some point?
I did. Remember I was telling you in high school, I had like a bit of issues.
Yeah.
Okay, so my mom took me to therapy and then to pastors, and then I was prayed for, and then I gaslit myself into thinking like, okay, maybe I'm gonna change. Maybe this is just something that is a phase and all those things. And mind you, I knew I was queer from such a tiny age. So the level of gaslighting I had to do on myself to even attempt to convert myself. And despite all of that, it never worked because there's nothing to fix, there's nothing broken. This is just who I was from the very beginning. So that was very interesting. And I feel like, do you remember, I think it was in 2017, there was this picture of two lions. I think they were mating or something. It went viral in Kenya. It was from Masai Mara. And then a prominent person from a certain film board, I won't mention names, came out and said that, oh, these lions are influenced by the Cape people who visit this park and they behave badly here. And also it's a demonic influence. And Kenyans ate that up. Like they ate that up. They were like, yeah, you're right, it's queer people and all these things. But the reality is a lot of animal species do have homosexual tendencies, and that's just the fact of it. It's not that they were demonic or whatever. So it's always interesting to see reactions online whenever like viral queer stories come up.
A successful one?
A successful one. Well, I've seen there's a couple in Nigeria that recently got married, and they did it like with their cultural like the way in Kenya we have like Rorashio, we have all those things. They did their version of that, and I was like, oh my god, that's so amazing, like tying in your African culture to your queerness. Like
Nigeria.
I know, like it's heavily homophobic, so I was like, that's very, very like interesting to see that. And funny enough, a lot of the reactions were positive, but of course most were negative. But it's just you can never win. It's just nice to see successful queer stories happening.
Briefly explain for us how digital media can help or harm.
Wow. As someone who is a digital activist.
That's why you're here today.
I know it can help because oftentimes when I share my stories online and my journey with my queerness, I get a lot of people in the DMs or whatever it may be, the comments, and they really resonate with my journey as a queer person because them themselves are also queer. And for a lot of them, they didn't know you can just be a queer adult. Like, I also didn't know. Like, they've just been living, like, a life, I can say that for a lot of them. Or they're trapped in, like, marriages and all these things. So I know for sure it has a positive impact to just send a mirror out there to the world that, hey, you're not alone. Those feelings, they're so valid and that's just who you are. At the same time, I know it can be used to harm, like extreme, again, at some point. Like the story I was telling you about converting, like people saying like once you're saved you're gonna change, like that's harming the queer community because it's very invalidating for people who are queer to hear that basically you're being told you're just not trying hard enough to change, you know. And also, like as a digital activist, again, I know that sometimes people take my messaging and twist it or maybe try and like get to me, like they like threats and everything. So in as much as it's good, it's also, it can be harmful, but it's here to stay. So we just have to navigate.
Double-sided.
Yeah, it's double-sided.
Thank you.
My controversial take is that misandry is the only sane response to femicide.